Hi, my name is Gabriella Page-Wolski, and I'm 21 years old. I was born on November 22nd, 2000 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, aka the Cheese State. Now before I start this cultural video, I want to address the elephant in the room. Or I guess I should say elephants. Firstly, I just couldn't resist wearing my Packers jersey, because as a Wisconsinite, we are so passionate about our sports teams. And yes, I may be a little bit upset about our loss a few weeks ago, but it's okay, I'll get over it. Also, I wanted to address some words that I may use in this presentation. I've been told by some southern friends of mine that I have a different vocabulary than other people. So bag, tag, sag, bagel, and yes, bubbler to Wisconsinite is the same thing as a water fountain down here. But without further ado, let's get into this cultural video. Living in Wisconsin is pretty boring, if I'm going to be completely honest. We have a lot of farms, the land is primarily flat, and it snows for the majority of the year. I lived my first 10 years of life in Muskego, Wisconsin, which is about 25 minutes away from downtown Milwaukee. There are about 25,000 people that live in Muskego. And that may seem small in comparison to the 600,000 people that live in Milwaukee, but because it was relatively close to the city, I got both country and city feel growing up. My family consists of my mom and dad, Melody and Rich, my sister Victoria, who's 2 years older than me, and our two cats, Shadow and Jester. I had a few dogs growing up, but unfortunately they passed before I was really old enough to remember them. When I was 10, we moved into an apartment for a year in Muskego, as we were building a house in New Berlin, Wisconsin, which is slightly bigger than Muskego, with 40,000 residents. I lived in New Berlin up until I left for college, but after I came down to South Carolina, our living situation as a family completely changed. My parents are still married but living in completely different states at the moment. In Wisconsin, my dad moved back to Muskego and lived with my cat Jester in a condo, which our family decided to downsize from after becoming empty nesters. My mom moved to Ardmore, Pennsylvania, which is a cute tiny town outside Center City, Philadelphia, because of something that went on with work. My sister moved permanently to Denver, Colorado, and is finishing up her master's in accounting and will graduate this May from CU Boulder. She has a job set up for postgrad at PricewaterhouseCoopers in Denver, which is the same firm my mom works at in the office in Philly. Going back to my childhood, growing up, my mom wanted my sister and I to see all 50 states, and as of now, we are pretty close with 42. Every summer, we would take family vacations to a new state, and when I was 12, we finally left the country. We took a trip to Europe and saw Italy, Switzerland, England, France, and a little bit of Germany since we had our layover there, if you count that. I had a chance to visit Canada when we were traveling to Seattle one year, and in high school I got to visit St. Lucia, and I got to go on an amazing trip with my school to Italy and Greece before my senior year. I'm the only one in my family that's been to Greece, and I think my mom is a little bit jealous, and I don't blame her. It was my favorite trip yet. With the religious aspect, my family has always been religious, and in addition to attending church every weekend, I also attended Lutheran school from kindergarten to 12th grade, which means my first exposure to public school was my freshman year at USC. But now that you've learned a little bit about my background, let's get into my cultural values. I am more individualistic because that is how we are in America. I want to stand out and be the best. Growing up with a sister 2 years older definitely made me more competitive. No matter the category, I wanted to win. Better grades, more trophies, more accomplishments, more friends, you name it, I was competitive in it. This was beneficial in a sense because it drives me to be the best and focus on achievements. Without this mindset, I would not have been able to serve on my sorority's executive board or have such a high GPA. However, the X is not completely on individualism because I truly value relationships. Growing up in sports, I was on a lot of teams and know I cannot do everything by myself. If I was completely individualistic, I don't think I could ever pursue a management degree because of the teamwork involved in it. Relationships are more than just a task. Growing up, I was taught to listen to adults and be respectful. And although I do believe in this mindset, it has changed a little bit as I got older. I was tired of getting stepped on and started to stand up for myself and my beliefs, even if that was misinterpreted as being disrespectful. I'm a conversationalist and I enjoy debating. It helps me learn more. So yes, it is important to have respect, but I'm going to share my opinion and make it known. If I disagree with the statement that is said, I'm not going to be quiet about it. However, I do understand the hierarchical differences. As a student, I believe that the professors have more knowledge than me and should be treated as such. And as a daughter, I'm going to respect my parents because they are still huge authority figures in my life. I am not a big risk taker at all, and change scares me. Change is unavoidable in modern society, so I've been getting used to it, but it takes me a while to adjust. I enjoy having a set schedule to things, and my Google Calendar is my best friend. I prefer to be told what to do because I'm scared that I'm going to do the wrong thing. Doing my own thing without any guidance is viewed as risky in my eyes. I am also uncertain when it comes to people in my life. To me, it is risky to trust and let my walls down to other people, and I can count on one hand the amount of people I fully trust, 2 of them being shown in these pictures. I don't know if I'm satisfied with where I am when it comes to uncertainty orientation. I want to live a little and take risks, but truly, it scares me. My parents both worked so hard to give my sister and I a great life. They both valued making money because it is something they lacked growing up. However, long hours at the office and trips across the country for weeks at a time can put a strain on relationships. I think that is why I'm leaning towards having a more passive goal behavior. Don't get me wrong, I want to be successful in my career and make money, but I want to make money so I can enjoy life. As a parent, I want to spend more time with my children than behind a desk. I want to be able to cultivate strong relationships and be that soccer mom with the minivan that brings snacks to every practice. Being that person would make me happier than a big house that I live alone at. I value money, and I'm a hard worker when it comes to getting ahead, but I want something deeper than just a job title. In college, it is hard not to think of the future. As students, we are constantly being told to prepare for our future, and especially in the spring with career fairs happening more often, it's unavoidable not to think about it. I'm pretty sure I'm on LinkedIn more frequently than Instagram, which is saying a lot. I want to be able to live in the present and enjoy these so-called best 4 years of my life, but especially since COVID hit, it has become harder. All of these restrictions, all of these mentally draining days have caused so much burnout that I'm ready for the next chapter. I'm excited and looking forward to my internship this summer with Adobe because I'm hoping it will help me get a glimpse of what the business world looks like. I enjoy my life here at USC, but I'm already checking out cities that I can escape to once I finally cross that stage. Before a class activity, I would have thought I was right in the middle, but I cannot justify someone stealing drugs or fruit because the law is the law. I'm a type A person through and through, so I enjoy order, structure, and law. With that being said, I think America needs to look in the mirror and change some of these things. No one should have to steal just so their family can eat for another day. There should be programs put in place so these type of things don't have to happen. There are some things that aren't fully black and white, such as self-defense. I believe that circumstances are important, but I think an act that is wrong may have some underlying problem that the country should focus more of its resources on solving. For example, immigrants crossing the border illegally is wrong, but it shouldn't take decades for someone to become a citizen. When deciding where I felt about basic human nature, I kept on going back and forth, so I just stuck to the middle. I think there are evil and good people out there. I think I have met a lot of them from either side, but I believe the majority of humans are good or want to do good things, even though they may lose their way. We all have our days that we are going through something and act out of spite or do things that we shouldn't. But we're human, that is normal. I think that is why I believe in criminal rejuvenation. They all messed up, but that doesn't mean they're all bad or deserve to be treated like they are evil. Obviously, there are exceptions out there, but I think this is a great way of thinking, and I'm glad that I have this mindset. Everyone needs their own space to breathe. I do understand that having a roommate is beneficial to develop character and learn boundaries, but after living with someone for the past 3 years, I can tell you I am so excited to finally have my own room next year. We all go through things and just need to be alone. Not being able to have that place that we can escape can be detrimental to mental health and maintaining a positive mindset. I shared a room with someone during COVID and virtual classes. Don't get me wrong, I like my roommate, but spending 24/7 with someone is tough, regardless of who they are. I think having shared office spaces can be beneficial when it comes to teamwork. However, it is crucial that respect is maintained in those areas, or it just becomes a toxic environment. For a long time, I had a collectivist mindset. I put other people's interests ahead of my own and focused on harmony of the group and family ahead of my own happiness.
This was toxic. I was draining myself to satisfy others, thinking that if I focused on myself, I was selfish. However, this past year, I decided to be a little selfish. I started saying no to things and taking time to grow skills that I wanted to learn and develop. I am focusing on myself. I learned that focusing on myself does not mean I cannot focus on family or community, but I am bettering myself, which in turn is helping the community. My happiness for so long was determined by other people's thoughts and opinions, but now I'm taking it into my own hands, and I haven't been happier. When it comes to hierarchy, I recognize that they are there, but don't focus too much on them. I believe that we should coexist with nature. When I was growing up, I attended summer camp for many years. I got to explore nature for a month over the summer and learn about how it's developed and how to sustain it. This made me have a love for nature. First off, I think it is impossible to fully control nature. It is all around us and does incredible things, but I think as humans, we are to use the resources around us to make our lives for ourselves. Cutting down trees to build shelter or using berries from bushes for food to help us live better lives. I wish I had some photos from summer camp to show you how stunning it was, but a great thing about summer camp and nature is that there was no distraction to take you away from the beauty that it was. To be fully transparent, I am one emotional person. Sometimes I just listen to sad music, so I purposely have a good cry session. I'm not sure if you can relate, Professor, but I would recommend trying it. I think that showing emotion in public or at work is effective, to an extent. Showing emotion makes you more vulnerable, more exposed, making yourself a more approachable and real team member because everyone struggles. If someone saw someone crying in a business meeting, I think we would admire how important something is to someone and recognize that we should be patient. Emotion should be used when making any decision, but it is important to remember that decisions shouldn't be fully emotion-based. I definitely understand the viewpoint that people have in small towns about last names helping you become successful, but I have a different viewpoint. My mom has started from the bottom and worked her way up because of her strength and determination. My mother is the hardest worker that I know and became the first woman partner at PwC in Milwaukee because of that. She empowers me to believe that I am not held back because I'm a woman, but being a woman in business should empower me to make my voice heard because we are still in the minority. This picture is from a few weeks ago when my mom got inducted into her high school Hall of Honor for her amazing achievements. She pushes me to try my best, and I believe that when I become successful one day, it won't be because of my name, age, or gender, but because of my hard work and determination that my mom encourages me to have. When it comes to living my life, I'm definitely more sequential. My Google Calendar contains what I'm doing every day and the tasks that need to be completed. A standard nighttime routine also includes writing out my day and what my plan is for each hour so I'm the most productive. Over winter break, I developed a bullet journal so I could customize my own planner. I live my life according to the clock and even have my alarm set on the weekend so I can be productive. Having this mindset is beneficial in school because it helps me stay on task. However, I'm slowly trying to break out of this sequential mindset in social settings. Things do not go to plan during social outings and mean the only one that cares about a plan can cause divide. I've been focusing more recently on having this go-with-the-flow attitude during social events because I think it will positively impact my friendships and relationships.